Hi, I'd like to welcome you back to the Romocomaka Railroad one more time. What we're doing here is effectively running a total battery check on one of our first RS3 installs from a couple of years ago. I believe that this engine's battery has probably run its life, but we're going to do a full load test and retest on it. What we've done is we've pulled out of the engine shed and we're going out onto the outer loop of the main. We're also going to be checking one section of track which we noticed in our last public session had separated. And I'll point that out when we get to it. It'll take a little while. We're running at about a scale 30 miles an hour right now, and like I say, this is a battery-powered unit. It is a beautiful day, and we will also be showing you one section that we must have, I'm going to say, at least 1,000 track clamps in this layout. And we've had some separation on the track, and believe it or not, we couldn't understand why the track was separating, because the entire layout floats. So what we did is we took it all apart, cleaned it all up, and reset it, tightened it up, and then we noticed when we put a load on the track, one clamp did not lock, even though it was very, very tight. So we did a simple little thing. We took that clamp out, put another clamp in, and found out that the problem was solved. It took us a little while to do this because then we had to reballast and everything else. But just like a real railroad, we're going to have some issues. We're still on the outer loop. Now the outer loops are approximately 750 feet long, as are the inner loops. They're quite extensive and they take approximately 10 to 12 minutes, depending upon the speed you're running, to complete one loop. Our intention is to run the entire 2 loops today, but I'm not sure if the battery will allow us to do it. But we certainly will find out soon enough. We're going through the S's now, and in the section of the track that we replaced is coming up. You'll notice that there's fresh ballast underneath it, because what we also had to do was not only ballast it, but level it. And when we level, we also use strips of fiberglass roofing to get it up, because the hollow ties don't allow for the track to really be elevated with stone underneath it. And when we ballast, we actually ballast around the shingle material, and it locks it in place so we can keep the track level. After we come through this next curve, you'll notice the section where there's fresh ballast, and that will be where we've done the work. We're coming up now, and you can see the fresh ballast, and very shortly we'll be over the section that we actually had to work on. This lighter area with the ties is what we actually worked on. Seems to be working well. We're now going over the access bridge to the upper loop. We're going to be replacing this. This bridge is approximately 3 years old and it's starting to wear out. And it was one of those we bought from the Christmas tree shop, and it served its purpose. It's attractive. It got over the track. But I think what we're going to do is replace it with a pressure-treated short walkway. Not on the level of the kind going into the middle loop. That was a lot of work. I don't think we're going to need it here because we're closer to the ground. Very shortly you'll see that bridge coming up. There it is right in the middle right now. And that bridge is very, very sturdy, very, very strong. And a lot of people just like to stand on it and watch the trains go underneath them. As you can see, we have the classification yard off to the right. And the tracks you see on the right, that's where we store our operating cleaning stuff. And now the track coming up immediately to your right is a make-up, break-up track for the yard. We're hoping to do some scenicking on these materials. The reason you see jumping, we found out after we did this, that the coupler on the video car was a little low and it disconnected, so it didn't do too well. We're now going into the middle loop on the outer section of track, of course. And what you see to the left is the intersection. It's real simple. And these tracks are completely blocked 1 and 2. There are no intermediate blocks on these tracks, so when you put power to the track, the entire track has power in it. We didn't really want to put blocks on this track because we didn't want to have too many electrical headaches. We may consider doing something like that in the future due to some issues that came up on the operating session on Sunday. Or the other option we have is, instead of trying to run 4 people with fresh operators, 4 trains with fresh operators, just run 2 trains with a fresh operator. They should be able to maintain a good 4 or 5 minute balance between the 2 trains. I was shooting for a 2-minute separation on that day. It didn't quite work out to perfection. We're now coming around the middle loop, and we'll be coming underneath the bridge shortly. Like I say, it is a beautiful day. A little bit of sun there on the lens. And here's another storage track on the right. You can see the rail stops. And there's the storage shed. The trash cans you see along the layout actually have ballast in them. We have 4 of them, and we load them up every year with ballast to make repairs. Just like a real railroad, you have to do it. We're now going underneath that very well-constructed bridge. And the people like to stand on and watch the trains. And we'll be going back through the classification area. This area does have a dip in it. You may notice it when we come out of here. As a result of trees falling during Irene and Lee, we suffered quite a bit of damage, and you can see the dips here. Coming into the dip, and we'll be coming out of it very shortly. This we're trying to build it up every year, trying to eliminate the dip, but it's not easy. I'm actually down about 1.5 inches, so we're trying to correct that. We are starting to notice, however, with this RS3, we seem to be slowing down a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if such should be the case. This engine should run for about 1.5 hours with the battery that we have in it. We've been running for approximately 7 or 8 minutes on a fully charged battery, and I don't think that bodes well. But what we're going to do is we are going to completely discharge the battery down so it's got at least an optimum voltage for discharge. Then we're going to run it up to another full charge and try and run again, and we'll time how long it runs. And if it doesn't run very long, we're going to have to pop the battery out. And the RS3s, that is not a lot of fun. We are really slowing down now, which may be obvious in the video. So it looks like we've just about run out of juice. We'll be going underneath the other bridge shortly. You'll notice the speed decreasing. So it looks like we're going to have to cycle the battery. But I hope you've enjoyed this clip. And as always, we hope you enjoy G-Scale Model Railroad. Have a great day.